What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome to another video. So I have a confession. I am a cheap bastard. I do not like spending money. It is, I don't know, maybe it's hardwired into my DNA, but I have always been super frugal. I prefer to be a MacGyver over a Batman. With that said, there are a number of things inside of your business that you should be spending money on. But in today's video, we're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about the things that you should stop spending money on right now, regardless, well, not regardless of what size of your business, but these are some things that maybe you want to take into consideration, take under advisement of maybe I don't need to spend money on that right now at my stage of the journey. So some of these are going to be counterintuitive. Some of these are going to be very small, very easy expenses to get rid of. Some of these are going to be pretty big ones. And you're going to go, wait a minute. That is not what I expected you to say. So without further ado, here are 10 things that you probably need to stop spending money on as a founder if you want to take your business to that next level. Number one, you need to stop spending money on YouTube Premium. Sorry, but I get it. Listen, I have YouTube Premium on one of my accounts, but here's the thing is the reason most people get YouTube Premium is so that they don't get fed ads, right? You just want to go and watch your videos. You don't want to have ad interruptions, but here's what I know to be true is that your competitors right now are targeting your audience. They are targeting your prospective customers. And if you can't see what they are feeding to your audience or feeding to you, then you are completely out in the blue. And this is like one of the best places that you can do competitor research is like, just pay attention to the ads that your competitors are running. So if you have YouTube Premium and you're not getting fed ads, yeah, you're not, getting your shows interrupted and you can sit there and binge for longer, but you're also denying yourself the opportunity of seeing, hey, maybe there's a piece of inspiration. There's a piece that we could adapt to our uses. Oh, there's language that my competitors are using to try to, pull me in. And here's what you want to do is like, you want to use your YouTube and you can have different accounts for different reasons. But you want to have like your ideal avatar YouTube account where you're only looking at YouTube videos from channels that you think your avatars are also visiting and the content that you think that they're consuming. And you want your entire feed to be made up of that. And that way, when you are watching those videos, you can see who are they talking to, how are they talking to those people, but then you also see the ads that are getting fed. And if you pay attention to which ads are being run the longest, then you can also kind of like work backwards to maybe what ads you should be running, which leads us to the second thing that you need to stop spending money on. Ads. I know. That's kind of funny because like I just said, pay attention to what other people are doing so that you can run your own, right? Okay, here's the thing is ads are fine, but do not run ads until you have validated with organic traffic. Okay, so you will need to have validated content before you start running ads towards it. So YouTube Premium works in the same way. If I can see what other people are running, I can kind of pre-validate that ad probably works. Go ahead and rip off and duplicate that. However, if you don't have that, then don't just go running ads for the sake of running ads. Like if you can't prove that you can generate organic traffic and convert that organic warm traffic without the needs for ads, you're gonna have a really hard time. You don't have the messaging dialed in. And because putting out organic content is, objectively free, like in the grand scheme of things, you can run tons of experiments every single day, tons of different pieces of content that you put out there to see what hits, see what resonates. And then once you have a proven winner, then you can go ahead and start doubling down. All right. The third thing you need to stop spending money on is expensive solutions to problems you don't actually have yet. I cannot tell you how often I've seen people who buy like the premium version of the CRM where it's like, this is the thing that we're going to grow into. And it's like, yeah, but you're not there yet. You're really far off from that. Or like, oh, I need to have a CFO for my business. It's like, you're not even doing $1 million a year, bro. You just need a bookkeeper at that point, maybe an accountant. Like you don't need the expensive solution to a problem you don't have yet. And here's the thing. A lot of people like to talk about like, yeah, but you got to build it in the beginning. So for scale, like if you don't build the infrastructure, the foundation from the beginning, then you're going to run into all these bottlenecks. And it's going to cap your ability to scale. Everybody likes to use the word scale. And it's like, just focus on getting to the next level, like the next iteration, and not 10 iterations. If you're trying to plan for 10 iterations down the road, it's way too far to be useful. So number 4. Fourth thing that you should stop spending money on is in-person networking events, unless that networking event is something that you're either speaking at or you're going to learn something specifically. But if you are just going to conferences and in-person meetups for the sake of networking, I will tell you from my personal experience, it is almost always a waste of time. Like those conversations, like it never manifests itself into a meaningful relationship that then pays dividends for your business. It's not worth the effort. So I'm not saying don't go to live events, but if you are, try to get a speaking gig. That will up level the value of the networking that you get, because people now come to talk to you and want to be, in your circle. Or focus on the education. Go to a specific event because they're teaching a concept that you don't know and you want more insider information on. But the problem with like in-person networking events is that everybody there is there. It's like speed dating, right? Like you go to speed dating and everybody's there to get laid, and they're just like talking about what they do. And it's like nobody's really interested in you or forging a relationship. And so it's just the worst place to do it. And honestly, a lot of times we use networking as this guise, as this this lie that we tell ourselves that it's productive for our business. It's biz ops, and it's just not. Like 90% of networking, of coffee dates, of let me just let's get together and see if there's any synergies. 90% of it's just a waste of time. So just stop spending money on it. Next is number 5. Stop outsourcing your thinking. Whether that is to content agencies, to consultants, to strategists, to AI, you need to stop outsourcing your thinking. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people, specifically when it comes to building like a personal brand, they're like, I don't know the first thing about this, and I don't really want to be a content creator, but everybody says I need to have a personal brand, so I'm going to go hire some young kid, and I'm going to give him the directions, and he's just going to write my content, and he's going to build my brand for me. The thing is, like, you cannot outsource your thought leadership. Like if you're not the one having the original thoughts and then, actually sitting and wrestling with them, then it has no value to you, because you're not actually doing anything. You're like wrestling and coming to a better understanding of what you think on different topics. And number 2, nobody else is getting any value out of it, because really it's just some watered down, like it's just the watered down version of you. Like you have this, this VA from some foreign country, they speak English, but not great. And they're definitely not a thought leader. And yet they're trying to take your thoughts and distill them and communicate them in a way that other people will find interesting. And like, it just doesn't work. In the same way, stop using AI for that. Like, hey, write me some content. Like you can get the outline, you can get the starting point, but like you have to at some point sit down and wrestle and do the heavy thinking. Like nobody else is going to do it. And I'm sorry, at the end of the day, like that's the one thing that can't be outsourced is your thinking, your vision, your directions for where you're trying to take your life and your business. Full stop. All right, next is what's on the list here. We got number 6. Cool. This one is do not spend money on premium branding before you have proven product market fit. I can't tell you how many people are like, I want to build a personal brand, and I'm going to work with a branding agency to make sure I know what my pillars are and my colors and my logo and all that stuff before I start creating content. And I'm like, dude, you're going to suck at creating content for like years. So like, what are you waiting for? Like, just start putting out the content right now. Let's collect data and see what hits, see what doesn't. Figure out the branding stuff later. Like, honestly, nobody cares about that. It's not going to attract anybody. It's not going to help you. Like the quality of your message is what matters at the end of the day. But we use this so often, like the premium branding, like getting the business cards and the nice landing page. Like we use this as a proxy for doing business. But at the end of the day, you just need to start doing the thing. And doing the thing is talking to strangers, making it known that you have a product or a service, and then trying to sell them on it. Like all the other stuff is just gift wrap paper around the present. So like, stop fixating on putting a bow on this thing when there's nothing inside the box. Like focus on filling the box first. I don't know. Seems pretty obvious to me, but all right. Number 7 is stop employing for roles that A, you haven't systematized, or B, you don't actually know how to do. And that second one, that might actually sound like really crazy. You're like, wait a minute, why wouldn't I outsource a job I don't know how to do? Right? Like, seems pretty obvious. I don't know how to do the accounting. I should outsource to an accountant. The problem, whether it's in marketing, it's in finance, it's in delivery, like whatever. If you don't know how to do that particular function within your business, then you are always a prisoner to the person who does. And you hire the marketing agency, and they will come in and they will tell you all the things, and you have nothing to benchmark it off of. They're like, yeah, you got 100% increase in lead quality in the last week. And you're like, cool. Like, what's that mean? How do I measure that? Like, has my CAC gone down? Has my LTV increased? Like, if you don't know what those things are, then you can't outsource it, because you can only You can only reasonably outsource a job if you know how to benchmark and hold people accountable to the result. And if you don't speak the language of that particular function, then you're beholden to the translator. And the translator, they can lie to you. Like, they can lie to you. It's not that they lie intentionally. It's just that they're going to feed you whatever is most aligned with what they need in that moment. They're gonna preach out of their own book. And so you need to, as you're building your business, spend time in each one of the functions. Spend time figuring out, how does the finance function in my business work? How does the marketing function? Like, learn all of those departments, then systematize what you do so that when you hire somebody and bring them in, you have something you can hold them accountable to, and you can measure whether or not they're being actually effective in what you have brought them in to do. So, number 8. Don't hire marketing agencies before you understand your own acquisition math. So, like, again, like, if you don't know what your current CAC or your LTV, like, if you don't know your ratios, your ad spend, and like what you can get as a ROAS, like, if you don't already know all those things, do not hire a marketing agency. Like, you want to already have that stuff defined so you can bring a marketing agency to then give you a benchmark across, like, oh, it was here, now it's here. Is it better? Is it worse? Like, if you don't have that, if you don't have something to measure growth against, then how do we know if we're improving? How do we know if this was better? Oh, we're making more money. Are you though? Like, if you don't know your numbers, then you can't reasonably say that. And I'm telling you, like, marketing agencies are the best at feeding you whatever it is that they want you to hear in a compelling way. The marketers, that's what they do. So do not hire the marketing agency until you really understand your acquisition math. Number 9, do not spend money on diversification, on investing. Like, until you get to the point where you cannot reasonably invest more inside of your business and get a good return inside the business, that is the only point at which you should go looking to diversify. Diversification for an entrepreneur is just, it's the wrong thing. You're playing a game of asymmetric risk and reward already. With business, like, you can get 1,000x return, right? Like, and the downside is capped. You can lose everything, but it's capped, right? The thing with investing, though, is like, you don't need diversification against that, because if you lose your business, you're already losing everything. And like, if you walk away with like 50,000 over here, like, who cares? That 50,000 might have been the thing that maybe got your business to that next level, so it didn't die. Like, everything should be going back into the business until you hit a certain threshold. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't be taking money off the table as the founder to like fund your own life and to de-risk yourself, so that over time you aren't making decisions that are more motivated purely from like financial fear. But that's different than like, oh, I'm going to take this $50,000 that we just made last month and I'm going to put it into an index fund. I'm going to invest it into real estate, when that $50,000 maybe could have gone back into hiring, or, you know, building a system, or expanding your ad spend. Like, so many more ways that you can get a better return on your buck as a business owner at that point. So, last but not least, stop spending money on business books. If you've already read, let's say, 5 business books, there's a good chance you're good to go. Like, you know enough at this point. There's not going to be anything too revolutionary or crazy in all the other business books you could be reading if you're reading the good ones, right? Like, go read like the original foundational, like the things that everybody points to, like EOS traction, the Blue Ocean strategy, 0 to 1. Like, read the really commonly recommended books, like the 5 to 10 most common ones. Then pick a strategy from those books, execute it, stop reading, do more. That's the game right there in a nutshell. So those are 10 things that you need to stop spending money on. I'm curious, what from this list are you currently spending money on? And you just had that light bulb moment of like, I should probably go ahead and cancel that. So let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.